Hare Krishna, my humble obeisances to all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So today we are going to have an interview with Her Grace Ashini Mataji. She is from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. Mataji is an event manager for the Bhagavad Gita Academy and a youth coordinator at Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. If you want to know how to balance your work and bhakti together, so stay tuned. We love your likes and comments. Do share it among your friends and family and subscribe to our channel and give us some blessings. So let's start the interview.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Guru.
Hare Krishna. We can start.
Hare Krishna.
My first question is, can you tell us something about yourself and your experience in Krishna consciousness?
Okay, sure. Hare Krishna. First of all, thank you for choosing me for this interview. And so all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to my Guru Maharaj, and also a big thanks to my Siksha Guru, His Grace Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu. So my experience or life started in Krishna consciousness when I was very young. Probably when I was 9, my family got introduced to Krishna consciousness, and then we used to attend events and festivals in the local temple, in the local ISKCON center. And then I was 9. But life in Krishna consciousness only got very much serious, and I got the conviction of serving Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj and the local community when I met my Siksha Guru, Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu, in my uni when I was probably 19. I think in 2013, I met him in my university. It's been 10 years of journey with Prabhu, and Prabhu has held my hand and, brought me really far in Krishna consciousness. Whatever I am today, all thanks, all glories to His Grace Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu, and of course his beloved wife, His Grace Shanti Mataji, because he has literally held my hand, introduced me, reintroduced me, and has given me the reconviction that Krishna consciousness is the way to live your life. And from my sadhana to preaching to whatever service I do today, Prabhu has molded me as a person. And of course, my whole family is are devotees. But of course, my conviction came after meeting Prabhu. So since then, the journey is continuing now. I'm doing whatever little service I can for Prabhu and also our academy.
Yes. It was amazing. Like without Guru, now we are nothing.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So how Krishna consciousness changed your life?
It has changed my life in ways I can't even put in words, Mataji. So obviously, when I first got introduced to Krishna consciousness when I was 9, right? As a family, we all tried changing. We became vegetarians, and slowly we started, changing the way we pray, the little things. We started including sadhana in our lives and everything. But the cross junction where I met Vishnu Prabhu in my life was, I was going through immense, I was at my lowest when I met Vishnu Prabhu at the time. I don't think even Prabhu knows this. I've not even mentioned this to my guru. But I was going through depression at that point of time, and I was at my lowest. Prabhu came into my life like God sent, and he took me out. For many people, they cope up with depression in many ways, but I think I coped up with the whole situation by becoming a step closer to Krishna. By Prabhu, without even knowing that I was going through whatever that I was going through, held my hand and changed my life in the most beautiful way. Even now, I turn back and look at my life. I have so beautiful memories of how life has transformed. What I was 10 years ago and what I am right now, I always think Prabhu has polished this uncut diamond. Yes, and Prabhu had made sure in terms of my education, I have excelled. in terms of financial stability, Prabhu had ensured that I focus on my work, I do well at job. In terms of taking care of my family, every aspect of life is well taken care of, just so that nobody says, oh, because she's doing a service in Krishna conscious, she has lacked in certain parts of life. So Prabhu was very sure that doesn't happen to any of his students. So all his students, he ensured everybody excelled in every aspect of their life, personal life, spiritual life, in their work life, studies life. So yeah, in a very beautiful way, my life has changed, Mataji.
So how you think your life would be without Krishna consciousness?
Miserable. Very, very miserable, because so I am doing everything that I am doing as a person. Like, I go to work, I have a full-time job, I'm studying part-time, I just finished my master's degree, and then there are other things that I do. But life is different now, because every aspect of my life I have Krishna now. So even if I'm working so hard, I'm like, okay, how do I connect? So I'm a advertiser, right? So how do I use that knowledge or that expertise in terms of making my academy a better academy? Those are the things. So right now I have Krishna in my life, every aspect of my life. So without Krishna, I think life would have been pretty much very miserable. I don't even think if I would have been alive without Krishna, because I was at a very lowest point of my life 10 years ago.
Can you tell us something about your profession? Like,
Okay, so my profession, yes, Mataji?
yes, it's Mataji.
So I am an advertiser. So I work in the media industry. So what I do is I run advertisements for my clients. For example, I'm handling GSK and also Disney Plus Hotstar. So those are, so whatever ads you see on Facebook, YouTube, TV, radio regarding these two brands, I am the person who actually sits down at the back of it and plan the whole advertising, how much budget, when, where do somebody see a particular ad, is what I do for a living. Yes.
Well, how you like use it for Krishna?
Okay, so what I do is we have an academy called Bhagavad Gita Academy of Kuala Lumpur here, which Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu is the principal of the academy, and we have His Grace Nimai Leela Prabhu from ISKCON Govardhan Eco Village GEV, who's the dean of the academy. So what I do is whatever I do at work in terms of planning the ads and all, we run similar ads for our academy. I manage the social media page, I create contents for our Instagram page, and those are the things. And sometimes we even do email marketing to our devotees. We send reminders or articles on email. So these are the things how I bring my work into Krishna consciousness.
What motivates you?
Srila Prabhupada.
And
Yeah, undoubtedly. So, okay, you see, my eyes is tearing talking about it. I'm not even kidding. Because when I first saw my teacher doing this, my I've always wondered, why is this man doing this much? I mean, what motivates him? Like, my teacher just goes on and giving people, and the kind of service he does, I think, is beyond something I don't think I can ever be able to do, to hold so many people's hand. We have about 300 to 400 people in our academy now, in the due course of, like, we started during COVID, and it's been 3 years now, and Prabhu literally has a database of everybody in his mind. Like, he knows exactly what is who for everybody. Like, he knows their weakness, their strength, everything. And Prabhu always tells me that he is being motivated by 2%. One is Srila Prabhupada, another one is his Guru Maharaj. And when I first read Srila Prabhupada's Leela Mrita, I think that changed my life in a very, very deep way. Like, if Srila Prabhupada could do what he did, knowing that you won't even be around to see any of this, like, he literally planted, or he created a big umbrella so that all of us could live under it, knowing that he's not going to be around, or he's not getting the benefit out of it, but he did it so selflessly because he wanted to give Krishna to everyone. So that really motivated me. And also to see my Guru Maharaj. By the way, I'm getting initiated next month, Mataji. So to see my Guru Maharaj is His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, and to see, yeah, to see that Guru Maharaj is going through so much of pain physically, and yet with a smile, Guru Maharaj is doing whatever that he's doing. Recently I saw, even with pain, Guru Maharaj was cutting a cake with smile, and he could make fun. I'm like, then who are we, right? What is there for us to complain on, or not to do any of this? So, and yeah, these are my motivations. My teacher, Raj, and Srila Prabhupada.
Wow, like it's very inspiring for us, for youth. And like in our
Yes, ma'am.
group, there are many Matajis who are very connected to Srila Prabhupada emotionally.
Yeah,
Srila Prabhupada
I mean, I don't know. I get very emotional when I want to speak about Srila Prabhupada, because that one book, Leela Mirta, of course, has changed my life in many ways.
So, what is your involvement in community development?
Okay, so in back here in Malaysia, in terms of how academy is concerned, so there are two ways, Mataji, how I do service. There are some services where I'm connected to ISKCON. I go to ISKCON, like yesterday was Radha Yatra and all. So I do mostly in terms of ISKCON, my services cooking services. But in terms of my academy is involved, I do quite a number of things. For example, whenever there is festivals that come up, when my teacher instructs, I give kata, I do preaching, and then also I'm also the administrator of the academy, along with a few other youths, where we manage the database of our devotees, and we organize festivals, we organize yatra, we organize conventions, and when we make sure the whole academic calendar, ISKCON calendar, right? Every festival is being celebrated. So we'll have like 3 days kata for Gaura Purnima, and then Ram Navami, we will have 1 month of Ramayana Katha. And then in May is Nashima Chadurdasi, we will have a convention locally here. And then June will be Julan Yatra. So that Julan Yatra will go to temple, local temple. And then Radha Yatra starts in July. And then Krishna Janmashtami, there'll be 5 days class. Radha Ashtami will have house program along with Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja. And then, September, we'll do some other katha, and then Damodara month comes. It will be 1 month celebration where we just finished our Damodara with closing, and everybody is very happy. So like that, and then we will also try to connect devotees of different parts in Malaysia, because we have devotees in the northern area, we have devotees in the southern area. So I basically work very closely with my teacher to see how can we connect these devotees to other services. Like, a book distribution is done in different parts of the country, and Tulasi distribution. We are planning to do Tulasi distribution every Saturday moving forward. Back then, it was only during Damodara month and Puratasi month in August. It's a Tamil month according to the Tamil calendar. But now we are planning to also do it like every Saturday. And we have this group called Sarnagadi group. It means this group, Prabhu will personally train them, where he is preparing them for shelter and initiation. So right now, about 20 hours are in the first batch to be initiated next month. But we have about 94 people in the group, where Prabhu is slowly training them for, the second and the third batches coming up. So we learn practical things, how to do sadhana, from your Tulasi Arati to your Mangla Arati, how do you circumambulate Tulasi. Those are the classes that happens. Practical classes, and then we have philosophical classes where devotees from different part of the world. We have Prabhu Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, we have Nimalila Prabhu, Devagi Nandan Prabhu from Singapore, who comes and gives us class on Nectar of Devotion, and also the theoretical part of Krishna consciousness. So this is what we do in our community, Mataji. The whatever little things that we can do to connect the small group of people that we have here.
Inspiring. So, what, based on your experience, are some principles of healthy community life? What are some guidelines for good leadership?
Okay, let me answer the first question. I think healthy community life, I feel like, so there are chances or points where sometimes there can be ego clashes happening, conflict of interests are prone to happen because we are all human beings, right? Human beings with two different opinions or mindset. So for such a thing to happen is there. But at the end of the day, so among the youth, I have a group of youths that I handle, and we have been together since our uni days. So it's been 10 years since we are together. And I think one thing one thing that we the small group of us are always reminded of is we are here to serve Krishna. That is our principal goals. We are here, we are not here to into each other's ego, or to see you are greater than me or I'm greater than you. No, we are here for one common purpose, that is to serve Krishna through the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and guided by my teacher or Guru Maharaj. So that is our principles. At the end of the day, we need to make who happy? My teacher happy, my Guru Maharaj happy, Srila Prabhupada happy, then Krishna will be happy. So we usually play to our strength, which means when we identify somebody's strength, okay, this is what the person does the best, we will usually let them do that job. I don't have to get involved in everything, right? I don't have to have control over everything and everybody. If this person is good in organizing an event, we will let that person to lead. That we will, and then we'll follow instructions. And if somebody else is good in probably designing something, is good in creating videos, so we will like, you do it, we will give our feedback. And that's how we have been maintaining the last 10 years, touch wood. Until now, we have never had any conflict of interest among that small group of youths who are actually helping to run the academy. So that I think is very important, Mataji. And in terms of leadership is concerned, I think a good leader has to inspire. This is something I learned from my teacher. And my teacher always say how some people have just by looking at Srila Prabhupada have become devotees. Just by looking at him, not even, they don't even have to talk to Srila Prabhupada. Just by looking at him, they have become devotees. They're like, I'll become devotee. So I feel like as a leader, good leadership is someone who inspires, somebody who actually entrust you and motivates you to do better. I think that's what my teacher has done to us, right? Things that I thought I will never do. For example, Mataji, you won't believe if I tell you, I have stage fright. I cannot speak in front of people, but nobody who comes in contact with me will believe it, because they think I speak quite well. I cannot speak actually. And it was my teacher who said, no, Ashini, I think you can do it. And the first very, very early stage, I'm talking about like some 8-9 years ago back in uni, he made me give class in front of like some 100 and 200 people. I'm not even kidding. I'm like, I'm like, no, I don't think I can do this. No, you can do this, do it. Until now, I'm not even joking with you, Mataji. We'll have 100 150 people in our class, in our Zoom classes, right? And I usually moderate the class, and I always have fear moderating, but somehow I'll do it. So I think that's a quality of a good leader, where he knows, he picks up, my guru picks up, he thinks I know I can do something, he believes in it, and he makes me believe in it, and he actually makes me do it. I think that's a good quality of a leadership, Mataji.
Like, I don't feel that you have.
I have.
So, how, according to you, a good leadership influences people?
How a good, like I just said, Mataji, like you have to inspire. how a good leader influences their people who work with them is just by inspiring. You do the job also, right? Like whatever I like, whatever my teacher asked me to do, I've seen him doing it, like a one-man show. And that's how Vishnu Prabhu influences us. He inspires us, not by just saying, oh, go and do this, or by just giving instruction, but Prabhu literally influences us by inspiring and motivates us. Like, you can think that this is something you can never do. I have a bad voice, Mataji. I can't sing. But there are times where Prabhu has made me sit on a stage and do a kirtan or a bhajan along with. I thought I will never be able to sing, but he trained me. So, I think because Prabhu's influence in my life is so strong, I can do even the most impossible thing. Like, Prabhu can ask me to do anything. And because he's asking, I will actually do it. I think that, Mataji, a good leader is somebody who inspires you to continue in this journey. Because spiritual life is not easy, we all know. It fluctuates. There are moments you go up, there are moments you go down. But it's someone who inspires you even when you reach the rock bottom. And so there's this beautiful thing that my teacher has asked us to do, Mataji, that I want to share with you. There's like this line graph. You have
Yes.
x-axis, y-axis, and then your graph goes up. So at any point of life, right, when you start something, your graph will go up steadily. Okay. But at any point, it will become stagnant, right? Because lethargy will kick in. Sometimes, I don't know, some people get bored, or for whatever various reason, right? That graph at one point will become stagnant. And very beautifully, Vishnu Prabhu told us, it's okay. At the point where it becomes stagnant, you draw a new graph, and you push the graph up. That's so beautiful. I find that very beautiful. And Vishnu Prabhu told us to practice that in every aspects of life, in terms of job is concerned, in terms of spiritual life, in terms of our personal life. Every time you think it's becoming stagnant, you draw a new graph.
Wow.
I just wanted to share that with you.
Wow. You're sharing this nectar to everyone.
Okay, if even one person could benefit from it, Mataji, I think my teacher will be very happy.
Yes. So, what would you advise to those who are starting this service of building a community or a congregation?
I don't think I'm in any position to advise anyone, but because you're asking me this question during interview session, I think, Mataji, everybody who's starting, especially, you start slow. Don't rush into it. I know sometimes Krishna consciousness can be very addictive. When you join, when you start, you want to do everything under the stars because your enthusiasm level is really high. I think managing that enthusiasm is very important. That is something my teacher has taught me. Because when you don't manage your enthusiasm, you cannot sustain. I think anything in life is about sustaining, right? It's about creating a balance. So anybody who's starting, start slow. Be convinced and have that conviction that Krishna is everything at the end of the day. So that no matter what happens, no matter what difficulty comes, no matter how much of a rock bottom you hit, you will never leave Krishna, because ultimately it's Krishna. So have that conviction first and be convinced. You have to be convinced first yourself that this is how life should be. Krishna consciousness is the way of living. Krishna is my ultimate savior. That you have to be convinced first. And then once you are convinced, you have the conviction, you start slow. You start slow with your sadhana. Slowly start bringing in sadhana into your life. And always, if you're blessed, have a mentor. Have a mentor who will hold your hand, because there are so many times you're going to make mistakes in spiritual life, right? Because you're not sure what is the exact way to do something, what is the correct way. And there are people who have done it try and error. But if you are lucky, if you have a good mentor, hold on to that person. Hold on to the person, listen to them, take instructions from them, and then slowly progress. I think that progress should be very beautiful. You should enjoy your progress in spiritual life. Then I think you'll be able to sustain it for the rest of your life. And another thing, Mataji, I think, put Krishna in the center of your life. No matter what you do, anything you do, any aspect, even if it's your personal life, your education, your career, always put Krishna in the middle, and Krishna will then guide you through in a very beautiful way, in various ways. Actually, you will actually know that Krishna is holding your hand when you are convinced that Krishna is the savior.
Like you were saying about keeping Krishna at the center.
Yeah,
So it becomes hard sometimes to keep Krishna in the
that I
center.
agree.
So what do you say about that? Like, what is your opinion? How to keep Krishna?
So, Mataji, like I said, this spiritual life, like, okay, so this is something my teacher has told, but I think this is something that Srila Prabhupada has told. Spiritual life is difficult, but material life is almost impossible. So, if you think of it that way, right, then you will keep Krishna in the center. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be very difficult. There are certain situations, Mataji. There was once, Mataji, that I went for a tooth surgery. I was so scared when I was sitting in that cold room. I was just so scared of the pain. And you won't believe it, Mataji. I was trying to remember Krishna's name and I couldn't because I was that scared. I'm like, what is Narsimha's mantra? I'm like trying to recall, like, Krishna, why am I forgetting this? I wanted to say that Ugram Viram Mahavishnu mantra and I forgot about it. I'm trying to recall because the fear of the pain is so much that I couldn't recall Krishna's name. And I was reflecting on it, Mataji. Later on, I even told my teacher about it. Like, during such a pressing moment, you tend to forget Krishna's name. It's normal. So that is why we are always asked to, chant Krishna's name and always connect to Krishna, so that remembering Krishna becomes a part of our life. We don't have to put so much effort to remember. And of course, later, within few minutes, I recalled that mantra. But this was such a reflection that I had. It was such a small surgery that I could even forget. I couldn't recall Krishna's name. So sometimes when life throws you big things, it's only normal for us to forget. But you know what happens during such moments? Krishna will then hold his hand and make you remember him. Like there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna says, right? I will give them the remembrance to reach me. So you just do your sadhana, you just do what you need to do. The moment when you are forgetting Krishna will then remind you of him. I'm not saying it's easy to put Krishna in the center of everything, but when you practice it, practice makes perfect. Eventually you will get there. Eventually you will know that, you see, at the end of the day, everything is Krishna, right? Everything is happening because of Krishna. So the only person that you can go to is Krishna.
We have nothing.
Yeah, that comes with practice, Mataji.
Yes. And one more thing, Mataji, you're saying now, like doing that, like you are doing your professional job and your spiritual work. So how can we balance? Like I study, so how can we balance study and Krishna consciousness? And
I think this balancing between spiritual life and your personal life is, I used to think it's a very, very impossible thing. I used to think that it's I felt like it was hard that I need to learn and master. But later on, Mataji, I mean, of course, along the way, I learned that as a woman, okay, as a woman, we multitask so many things in our life. Okay, we play the role of a daughter, we play the role of a sister, I play the role of an auntie at home. There's so many roles that we play, and we do it so well. We don't even think that, oh, am I doing this correctly? Am I doing that correctly? We just do it because that's what women do. Women plays various roles in our lives, right? But only when it comes to spiritual life, we're like, how do I balance it? But actually, no, if you make Krishna consciousness as a part of your life, it's the part of how you live, then I don't think there's so much for you to balance. It just becomes a part of your life. You wake up, you do your sadhana, and then you go to work. And then, at work, there are people that you meet sometimes would want to know what you do in your spiritual life. There are days when I go to office and one day, if I forget my tilak, I'll have my colleagues asking me, hey, how come you're not wearing that thing that you used to wear every other day? And, it's so, you are establishing something that, people becomes a part of it. They understand, oh, Ashni is vegetarian, so we need to prepare food with our onion garlic for her in case there is a gathering that's happening. And so one thing my teacher always tells me is it's not against our happiness, which means you need to do what you need to do in for your work. You need to do what you need to do when if you're studying. Especially me, I was doing my master's degree and I was working. So I'm not going to compromise on anything, right? Because I know work is work, studying is studying, my life. So why do I need to now look at Krishna consciousness as something, oh, it's a difficult thing I now need to balance? No, it's just part of my life. I know on Sundays I have service, so it's part of my life, right? So my other activities and all, I arrange in a way that it doesn't disturb one another. Like everybody who knows me, they know Sunday morning I have class and nobody disturbs me. And even if they want to make any plans, they'll be like, what time your class ends? Can we meet you after the class? Those are the things, Mataji. Like you have to set priorities for this that people will actually respect it. And when you need to go and watch a movie, please do so. Even my teachers never stopped us from having that little fun that we have to. Every time I go for yatra, I'll usually extend another week just so that I can go around and see India. I love India. So that 1 week will be for yatra. The following week I'll go around. And if I happen to come across ISKCON, like last year, January, when I came to Mayapur, I extended my trip to Darjeeling. And on my way back, I dropped by at ISKCON Kolkata and ISKCON Siliguri. I went to ISKCON, I prayed, I did whatever I need to do, and then I went to Darjeeling. So it's like that, Mataji. It becomes a part of your life. You don't have to think too much about balancing both. It's just the way you live life. I think maybe also through practice it will come, Mataji.
Please pray for us,
I think
Mataji.
so.
Please pray for us.
I will. You keep me in your prayers too.
I have no one to pray for you, Mataji. But you said so. So, what challenges you have faced in this service and how did you overcome them?
Challenges, yes, it's something I think all of us go through. In the beginning stage, Mataji, like what you said is probably the balancing, right? Like how you said, when I was studying, I was probably your age when I started into Krishna, becoming very serious into Krishna consciousness. At that point, yeah, balancing, like, because this becomes like an extracurricular activity that I was doing. So how do I balance it? Of course, over the time, I managed to, when I'm convinced, I had that conviction that this is how life should be. And then it became a part of my life. So now I don't have to do that. That was one challenge. And second challenge is, Mataji, of course, we are all human beings, right? So human beings means differences in opinions, differences in thought process, the way we think, the way we do things. So it is people. I had some challenges with some devotees because of the way we think and all. And then, of course, Mataji, like I told you, I will always go back to that ground rules that we have set among the small group of us. We are here for only one sole purpose, that is to serve Krishna through our teacher and Srila Prabhupada. So whatever differences that come, we will try and resolve it like that. Okay, if you think you are better in this aspect or this area, then of course by all means you go ahead and do whatever you need to. And other challenges will be, Mataji, I would say time constraint for me, because I am doing quite a number of things at the moment, right? So time constraint is one thing for me. Like sometimes I feel like, okay, especially when work is concerned, I'll have deadlines and then work is there, and then I have to look after my parents. And then I have this academy that I am helping Vishnu Prabhu with. So time pressure is one of the challenge. And then Vishnu Prabhu always tells this, time come from Krishna. So you go and ask Krishna. You ask Krishna for time, Krishna will give you time. Krishna is the one controlling time, right? So if you think you don't, your 24 hours is not sufficient for you to do whatever that you're doing, then something you're not doing right. You go and ask Krishna, and Krishna will give you time. And most of the time, it will be fine. Like anything, any issues, I'll ask my teacher, and my teacher will be like, Krishna's controlling this now. Krishna's doing this now. So Krishna will answer. You go and ask him. You will find the answer. And most of the time, answers doesn't come straight. Krishna doesn't drop the answers from Goloka, but answers come through devotees. Answers come through various channels, Mataji, and you will know that it is true Krishna that all these answers are coming. Yeah, those are the little challenges. I'm not like doing a big thing, so my challenges are small, not so big.
You are doing very much. Like, it's not enough for Prabhupada. The Prabhupada did everything for us.
Yeah, the challenges that Prabhupada went through, I cannot even imagine going to another country with 40 rupees and then, doing whatever Prabhupada has done. So compared to Prabhupada, I don't think mine is even a problem to discuss with. I'm only saying it because you're asking me.
Yes. One last question, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Like, what is the importance of marriage in Krishna consciousness?
Okay, I don't think I'm the right person to answer this question because I myself am not married yet. But I do know the importance of a marriage because I feel like, again, I had to quote my teacher and everything because whatever knowledge I have is from Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu. So Prabhu always says that when you are a grihastha life, you can do a lot of beautiful things in terms of Krishna consciousness because you are building a life or a small family which then contributing to the community, right? So marriage is so important because as a woman, you need a man who actually guides you in your spiritual life and also brings you towards Krishna consciousness, right? And then together with that person, with that man in your life, you are now bringing in children who are Krishna consciousness. And my teachers always say, if you can't bring up a child who is Krishna consciousness, then there is no point in bringing up, there's no point in having a child like that. So I think marriage is very important in our community to regulate a lot of things. So your life is regulated. So this aspect doesn't frustrate you and disturb your spiritual life. But obviously, I do know a lot of Prabhus and Matajis who are not married and they still do beautiful service, right? But my teacher always says that, so this aspect of life doesn't frustrate you in future. So everybody should get married and make sure together you build a Krishna consciousness family, so that child, that daughter or son of yours becomes a useful human being in the community, just like how we were molded, right? Like my parents were not Krishna consciousness. We all got into Krishna consciousness and got into the journey together. But would I want to do that for my future generation? Yeah, because I feel like my generation alone is very hard. Okay, I can't only imagine what the future generations are going to go through. So without Krishna consciousness or without them having a proper principles in life, life will be very difficult. So for that sole reason, I think marriage is very important, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for giving us your time.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.